Looking back on the past 2.5 years as I worked on my PhD, I realized that the many research projects I have conducted and seminar papers I've completed have prepared me for the most important project of my academic career to date, my dissertation. A project of this magnitude can generate literally thousands of pages of resources and hundreds of pages of notes. Taken as a whole, it can be a daunting and even intimidating prospect. Whether you're working on a term paper in your freshman year or an essay for your comprehensive exams for your doctoral program, you're going to need a process. In this presentation, I'll explain my process for extracting and organizing information from thousands of pages of resources. It's worked for me pretty well so far, and I hope that it will continue to as I embark on the final stage of my doctoral program. Process is personal. There are as many research methods from which to choose, but once one is chosen, it becomes the researcher's own. The researcher customizes that method until it becomes comfortable and efficient. There is a logistical component to research and writing, and that's the focus of this presentation. These are 5 photos showing 5 very different writing processes in progress. The top left shows a student's free-form process. It works for her. Right below is a student's stacks of printed PDF journal articles organized by topic, along with actual hard copy books with highlights and sticky notes, a legal pad for jotting down brief impromptu notes, and the laptop with which the actual paper is being written. The bottom image shows a similar configuration, but also includes photocopied textbook pages rather than the books themselves, although you can see that the books are available to the left, if needed. Next up from there shows another student's process which utilizes wall-sized post-it notes for brainstorming and organizing thoughts. And the last shows a desk on which a few hard copy books are arranged. But where are all the journal articles? Where are all the notes? That's my desk, and they're all digital. This is a graphical representation of my process, which relies almost exclusively on leveraging digital technology. It's my process, but I'd like to share it with you. If you choose to adopt it, you may find other applications that you're more comfortable with, and you may choose to rearrange the steps or take an entirely different approach. At that point, it'll be your process, and for you, it'll be better than mine. The advantage to starting with a digital reference is that you don't have to worry about scanning it. Usually, the downloadable document can be saved as a PDF, and often it already includes a recognizable text layer. This is easily determined if you can highlight text in your PDF reader. If you can't, then you'll need to perform an optical character recognition scan on the file. Hard copy resources such as books and journals are great, but they do not leverage the advantages of electronic media, mobility, searchability, and accessibility. Our first step is to convert this content whenever possible. A handheld scanner will work for a few pages, but there's a knack to getting the motion right. A flatbed scanner is fine for small jobs and for books that you can't disassemble. If it's your book and you can tolerate its destruction, you can remove the spine either with a straight edge and X-Acto knife, or by taking your book to a professional print shop that has an industrial paper cutter. Once it becomes loose leaf, a desktop sheet-fed scanner works well, but unless it's a 2-sided sheet feeder, you'll be marrying the right and left pages of your content back into one document. If you're lucky enough to have access to a duplex scanner, the process is very quick and efficient. Assuming it's your book, you can do with it what you want, and that includes scanning or photocopying it. What you cannot do is distribute it without the publisher's permission. Someday you may find yourself in a position where you've spent years researching and writing in order to publish a book. You will have worked hard, and you will deserve every penny that's coming to you, and that's what copyright is all about. Once your content is saved as PDFs, you can use one of a number of applications to run an OCR scan. I recommend Acrobat Pro because it has other uses, like recollating sheet-fed scanned pages into one paginated document. It's a bit pricey, $114 with an educational discount, but since being a student is your career for the time being, you may want to invest in it. You can search the web for other apps, such as Enlosoft's PDF converter with OCR. The point is, without having an invisible text layer in your PDF document, you just have a collection of pictures of pages, and that limits what you can do with it. Assuming you've downloaded all your scanned documents to an iPad or other tablet, you're ready to begin reading, highlighting, and taking notes. The best part of this step in the digital process is that you can carry your entire research library around on one device. You can sit in the backyard, on a bus, or in bed and have everything you need at your fingertips. Once you have text-based PDF files, you can open them using iAnnotate, an application in which you can highlight, take notes, add bookmarks, perform word searches, and even have your iPad read the text to you. I find this helpful with especially dense reading. I still read along with the narration, but hearing it as I read helps reinforce the author's concepts. Once you've finished a resource, you can mark it done by changing the title. You can then send all your notations to yourself or directly to your Evernote account via email, right from iAnnotate. Evernote allows you to group your notes in notebooks, but you can search across notes and notebooks using keywords and phrases. It makes locating that perfect quote much easier and faster. You could start writing at this point, but I've inserted another step in the process. It's rather time-consuming, but if you build that time in, it can be very useful. I review my notes from each publication in Evernote and then transfer the ones that I think are most important, or all if you prefer, to a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. This does three things. First, it allows me to review all the information that I've just covered, which can include dozens of reference materials. Usually I've forgotten what I first read and who said what. This helps me take stock in what I have. Second, it allows me to call out the things that I thought might be important when I started reading but realized later was irrelevant. And finally, it allows me to leverage Excel's powerful sorting and searching functions. As I'm writing and I insert a quote, I strike through that text in the Excel document so that I don't use it again by mistake. In a 30-page paper, that can be an issue. Throughout the entire process, I keep the works cited page in mind. I work in MLA, but every style has a similar source page. Most online databases like JSTOR and EBSCO have a title page that includes all the information you need to construct your source page. But for websites, books, and hard copy journals, I find that bibme.org works pretty well. Once you set up a free account, you can create individual projects and then export a Word version of your finished list. It allows you to choose MLA, APA, and a couple others. But don't trust bibme, MS Word, or any other shortcut when attempting to properly format your paper, add in-text citations, or create your bibliography page. None of the automated products are 100% reliable. The best resource I've found is the Purdue Online Writing Lab. After a few semesters, you should be able to write in your particular style in your sleep. With all the prep work finished, it's time to write your paper, and here is one resource that's not digital, but well worth the price tag. Written by my friend and former Keuka College colleague, Writing for College is probably the most helpful resource I've found. It doesn't matter if you're a freshman or a postdoctoral student. You'll find useful information about style, grammar, and the writing process. Finally, there's nothing more demoralizing in the writing process than losing everything you've written so far. Save often and save in multiple locations. I periodically save and email my paper to myself, in addition to uploading copies of all my reference materials and the paper itself to a cloud-based site. I use box.net, but Dropbox.com works just as well. The writing process is just that, a process, and process takes time. You can't wait until the last minute and start something as complicated as what I've described. In that case, you'll just have to wing it. Sometimes that's good enough, but when your future is riding on the quality of your work, it's a poor strategy. Whether you adopt this system or create one of your own, the most important thing is that you have one. Happy writing.